Hello again, everyone. Todd Michael Putnam from Creative Adventure Tables, bringing you another adventure table idea. And this is adventuring through the elemental planes. Adventuring through the elemental planes. So, just the premise behind this is there's basically a storyline where the players have to go through each of the elemental planes in order to maybe get pieces of an artifact or something to get them together, or to gather pieces of knowledge or something like that. I was more curious about if I could do it, literally just creating one table that would have all the four elemental planes on it. Don't have table space for the para elemental planes, but four planes on one table is not too bad. And basically, how I would craft that, how I would create a setup that would support storytelling through there. And so I'll start over here at this end at the elemental plane of water. And there's basically two ways that I could really envision it. I could either envision it as it's an endless plane of water, so to speak, and then at the bottom of it, there's like an ocean floor, and so you're swimming at all times through everything. The problem is that when you build it out that way, your bottom space here ends up looking like almost like a desert type thing, because it's the sandy floor. And sure, you'll have shipwrecks or something like that in the bottom, but that actually wouldn't make that much sense. Because there's no surface for ships to sail on. So it'd be really hard, in my mind, it was hard to define how that would work. So instead, I opted to go with the other option, which is like an endless ocean, of course, bordered on sky. So I just created, just took the WizKids ocean map, which is fantastic. It's got a really great wave-like effect going on it. I just took that mat and then I threw on some of these wave effects that they're like little 3D prints from griffonco.com, GRIFFONCO.com. I took that and little pewter statues that I have of sea dragons and my falling star ship and a giant water elemental from WizKids. And I basically just threw those out there pretty fast and easy for an endless ocean. And that endless ocean, of course, is borders on sky, because above the ocean is air. So the next elemental plane that I put next to it was air. I just used this battle mat that I got from, I believe it's Noble Knight Games. It's a sky mat with clouds. And then I just took some elevation tiers from Tinkered Combat Tiers. I can't remember what their name is. It's the worst name ever. I got to be honest with you. I think it's Tinkered Combat Tiers, for some elevation, and then just put some it's brain fart this morning. Doll stuffing from Amazon. Just threw that on top of it. You could use cotton or whatever. Same difference. And then of course created your elevation of clouds. To give it that feeling that's a three-dimensional type thing. And then I was trying to figure out like what would people live on and stuff. Well, in the air, and again, it's bordered on the elemental plane of water. So in the air, the other thing that you do is when you freeze the water up in the sky and stuff, you create ice. And so I created these glowing, ice ice castle, so to speak, that's floating along up there in the sky. And that's where other elementals, there's some air genasi and some giant air elementals and stuff. These figures are all from WizKids, put up there as residents that are flying around up in the clouds and such. The ice castles itself, this is the translucent dry brush ice set from Dwarven Forge, and then lighting it up is underneath is light panels from Dwarven Forge for their Hellscape Kickstarter set. It's no longer in Kickstarter, but from their Hellscape set. That works great. And then also to add to it is I just created a little balloon. I'm sorry, I did not create. I grabbed that balloon from WizKids, their swamp gas balloon, threw it up there, and that just helps give that extra added feel. Those light panels, by the way, are powered. So I just kind of hid as best as I could on the back side of the table, the power plug going through, and then there's a, a luminosity type meter here that you just rotate that, and you can make that dark, or you can make the light panels brighter or darker as you see fit. So there, the elemental plane of water borders on the elemental plane of air. And then I put the elemental plane of air bordering on the elemental plane of earth because the earth plane I created as being basically pure earth, but there are airy tunnels and caverns stretched out throughout it. So there's that's the crossover between that. Um, and this one basically is just a whole bunch of caverns and tunnels, and it's being ruled over by multiple types of creatures. Of course, there's earth elementals on there, but then tunneling through all this stuff is various types of insects and bugs that I've got going through here. So I've got these like giant ants that are going on. I love those things, and some giant earth elementals in there, and some. I've got some weird looking stuff from those are from Dwarven Forge. Those two guys right there. Of course, there's like egg nest layers and stuff. So basically, that concept it's a giant endless Earth existence. However, there are tunnels of air that are funneling through it, and then bordering on that is the elemental plane of fire. And so I just thought, well, then you're going to have like lava rocks and magma and stuff like that, and that's why it borders on the elemental plane of Earth, is because it's got all those lava things going on, and I should say magma flows and pieces of earth and stuff. So, and this basically these are the tile sets from Dwarven Forge's Hellscape Kickstarter, and then I also used more with their light panels. And then these guys right here, these giant stalagmites and stalactites, are from the Skyless Realms Kickstarter. You can check that out. I'm sure it's live on their regular website. I can't think of who makes it off the top of my head. It's not Printable Scenery. It's somebody else. But anyways, I just took up Skyless Realms Kickstarter, and it'll take you there. So and that's basically it. And of course, for populations here, I have fire type creature guys, and then like little smaller ones. That I think they're called Azar or something like that. And then I've got like a phoenix type creature here that's going around. And I've got some big magma guys, and of course, giant fire elementals from Fire Elemental Lord from WizKids. And that's basically it. So, and of course, you'd simply have portals or through spells or whatever it is that the characters could transfer from one area to the other. As far as covering something like this all the way up, I probably wouldn't. I might cover up this center one. I could just use blankets or something. Not blankets, but light cloth that I've got that I could throw over the top of that. But for the most part, something like this build, I wouldn't actually cover up. I simply just wouldn't put the elementals or the creatures that are in there down on the table until the players got to that particular section. So, if they start sailing along on the ship or whatever it is, I'm not going to put the sea dragon in there. I'm not going to put the water elemental until they down on the table until they actually interact with it. Same with here. If they teleport onto the balloon or whatever, and they have to fly over onto this. Once they get to this area, that's when they have to. That's when I would set the elementals and the genasi and stuff down. Here, wherever they started, if I started them, let's say in this back corner over here, I would just reveal the map as they started tunneling through it, just like I do in a regular dungeon crawl. And then this here again, because it's an all open plane, plane of air, or whatever, I mean of flame. And rock. I would basically just set them in one of these areas here, and they would need to transverse themselves. They would probably have to have some fly spells or something like that in order to move from one small safe area to another before they could probably talk to like this guy right here, who's somebody in charge or who's hiding or guarding whatever it is that the players might be after. So there it is. If you're enjoying this content and you want to see more of it, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. And it lets me know that you guys want to see more content like this. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next adventure. Take care. Bye.